Most of the volunteers knew what they were fighting for and why. What were they fighting for? If asked to define it in a single word, many soldiers on both sides would have answered, liberty. They fought for the heritage of freedom bequeathed to them by the Founding Fathers. North and South alike wrapped themselves in the mantle of 1776. But the two sides interpreted that heritage in opposite ways. When Abraham Lincoln won the presidency in 1860 on a platform of excluding slavery from the territories, Southerners compared him to George III and declared their independence from oppressive Yankee rule. The same spirit of freedom and independence that impelled our fathers to the separation from the British government, proclaimed secessionists, would impel the liberty-loving people of the South to separation from the United States. One Georgia secessionist declared that Southerners would be either slaves in the Union or free men out of it. Men from Texas to Virginia rushed to enlist in this holy cause of liberty and independence, and to raise the standard of liberty and equality for white men against our abolition enemies who are pledged to prostrate the white freemen of the South down to equality with Negroes. From the high and solemn motive of defending and protecting the rights which our fathers bequeathed to us, declared Jefferson Davis at the outset of war, let us renew such sacrifices as our fathers made to the holy cause of constitutional liberty. But most Northerners ridiculed Southern professions to be fighting for the ideals of the American Revolution. That was a libel upon the whole character and conduct of the men of '76, said the anti-slavery poet and journalist William Cullen Bryant. The Founding Fathers, he argued, had fought to establish the rights of man and principles of universal liberty. The South, insisted Bryant, had seceded not in the interest of general humanity, but of a domestic despotism. Their motto is not liberty, but slavery. Northerners did not deny the right of revolution in principle. After all, the United States was founded on that right. But the right of revolution, wrote Lincoln in 1861, is never a legal right. At most, it is but a moral right, when exercised for a morally justifiable cause. When exercised without such a cause, revolution is no right, but simply a wicked exercise of physical power. In Lincoln's judgment, secession was just such a wicked exercise. The event that precipitated it was Lincoln's election by a constitutional majority. As Northerners saw it, the Southern states, having controlled the country's government for the previous 2 generations, decided to leave the Union because they lost an election. For Lincoln and the Northern people, it was the Union that represented the ideals of 1776. They believed that the republic established by the Founding Fathers was a fragile experiment in a world bestridden by kings, emperors, czars, and dictators. Most republics through history had eventually been overthrown. Republics in Latin America came and went with bewildering rapidity. The United States in 1861 represented, in Lincoln's words, the last, best hope for the survival of Republican liberties in the world. Our popular government has often been called an experiment, Lincoln told Congress on July 4, 1861. But if the Confederacy succeeded in splitting the country, it would destroy the experiment. The central idea pervading this struggle, said Lincoln, is the necessity of proving that popular government is not an absurdity. We must settle this question now, whether, in a free government, the minority have the right to break up the government whenever they choose. Many soldiers who enlisted in the Union Army felt the same way. A Missourian joined up as, "A duty I owe my country and to my children to do what I can to preserve this government, as I shudder to think what is ahead of them if this government should be overthrown." A New England soldier wrote to his wife, "I know how great a debt we owe to those who went before us, through the blood and sufferings of the Revolution, and I am willing, perfectly willing, to lay down all my joys in this life, to help maintain this government, and to pay that debt." Freedom for the slaves was not part of the liberty for which the North fought in 1861. That was not because the Lincoln administration supported slavery. Quite the contrary. Slavery was an unqualified evil to the Negro, to the white man.